Alrighty, hey there everyone. We're back again with some more Minecraft. Last time we were on 1.21.8 and now update has finally come out. We're on 1.21.9. We'll wait for our world to convert here. That was very fast. Wow, cool. Let's see here. That's right. The F3 menu has finally come back up. What were the settings? That were the real question. You can change what shows with the F3 settings, but I forget what that tooltip was to edit F3 and 6. Perfect. So check this out. NF3. Yep. Yep. If we don't need a height map per se. Height levels, we want that. They definitely moved everything around, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, but that's alright. We can kind of take some time to figure this out. And let's see here. I really wish I could move them around because having them up in the corner feels super wrong. So, like, seriously, why can I not move those around? Dang, bit of a shame. But yeah, no, we're back with a new update finally. We're gonna go ahead and keep screwing around with this a little bit here because I still want to see what's going on. Light levels, we'll head to F3. Okay, and then that seems to get us to be in the spot that we want to be at. Perfect. So now we always get our chords, which is honestly very nice. I don't open up the F3 screen for it. That's very cool. And otherwise, yeah, that's pretty nice. I keep wanting to hit F3 out of habit, but now I don't need to, so that's gonna be very cursed to get used to. But yeah, last time we managed to break into the end finally. We actually need to store away some of our extra goodies that we've acquired throughout our journey. Yeah, we went ahead and broke into the end, and we got a hold of some nice little extra things. You know, nothing too major. We got, oh, what did we even get? You know, actually, I'm not even too sure what we got, frankly. Well, obviously we got some chorus fruit, shulker boxes, some very, very minor things, but otherwise we didn't really get a whole bunch. And right now, we're really just looking to tuck that away down there. There we go. What we're really looking to do as well is we're taking a happy guest with us through the end, and we got some work to be done. Wait, some of these are mine. Shit. Need to remember that before I start dumping everything away. Some of these are actually important to me and I need to keep. There we go. Okay, a little better. Alright, and beetroot. There we go. Tiny extra little bit of beetroot. Alright, and then we've got two there. We should have some extra wood there for our chest. We got third shulker box. There we go. Extra horse armor can go away there. Alright. Now we got everything all tucked away best we can. Very good. Got our book and quill. Be able to take a couple of extra ender pearls with us. And what we're basically looking to do is be prepared to bring over a happy gas. So first things first, let's go ahead and get that dried gas that we've been saving for so long. Go ahead and put it in our bundle too. And we want some snow blocks because we want to be able to create some extra golems. I ever get any regular pumpkins? No, I just got seeds and I never bothered to grow any pumpkins, didn't I? Wow, that's actually kind of nuts. Okay, we have enough iron for shears because we'll need it for the jack-o'-lanterns. And let's see here, we need leads as well. I put those here. There we go. And we'll have enough to make some snowballs and all that, so we'll get that going here in a little bit. And we'll go ahead and grow just some pumpkin seeds, I guess. I guess we'll get our melons out too. We'll go try and find a spot to go get these planted at as well in the meantime. There we go. Alright, and then shulker wise, we're gonna also bring over enough material to implement our funny extra little system that I was talking about before, so that way we can actually farm shulker shells. So we're gonna go ahead and bring over a stack of cobblestone, a shulker blocks of cobblestone. And I was reading up on the wiki today, and we need to basically make a 17 by 17 platform, and we actually need to make it like 4 times over, so let's do some quick math. 17 by 17, then we need one for the floor, one for the middle bit, one for the top bit, one for that very high top bit. So yeah, like about a shulker box of stuff there would be good. So we don't need too much more than that. And then that'll just get us some extra material to bring over. We're gonna dump that over there. And we're basically looking to import a little bit extra from here. Let's go ahead and get some extra blaze rods. And make a couple of extra thingamabobs. Gonna make some runic stands. Go, we got those. We don't have any glistening melons, but we can go buy some because we want them for instant health potions and a dispenser. Not to mention just some redstone in general too. Trapdoor. Like some of that extra iron there. Alright, let's see here. Glass was another thing that we're gonna need quite a bit of. And sticky pistons, so we gotta bring those over. And then let's see here, that. One hopper. Go ahead and make a chest. Then a hopper. Go in there. And then we need to make a barrel. Because that's going to also store everything else. So that'll lead into the dispenser that we're getting ready to craft here, hopefully. Which, speaking of which, do I have the materials for one? Yes, I do. Perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and get that. A bit of redstone. Should have enough cobble. Get our one dispenser. So that's going to be for our other little system there. We're also going to grab from our bundle, extra bundle. And we're going to go ahead and load up some of the weirdo extra bits that we got in our extra little bundle. So that'll be for all of our redstone and extra things. And let's see here. What else? What else? What else? What else? Got our water buckets. Got our extra iron. Got some extra iron in there. Typically we need sticky pistons, trapdoors, levers is another one. We don't have any levers in there yet. So let's go ahead and get a couple of sticks out. And we'll just go ahead and make 8 levers. Go a little overboard, because I can. A little bit of extra cobble. Alright, and then that should be enough to make the tube that we're gonna need. And then we have enough regular wood to restock, and that'll help. And basically we need to be able to make enough slabs, walls, and physical solid blocks. And we actually need more glass than we have in here, because that'll also help us create like a window. So we need to get a good bit of extra glass as well. So we're going to make a quick pit stop out at the trading hall as well, but I guess we'll sleep first and we'll do that, so never mind. I'm just curious, can I even see what day it is right now? I cannot, really. That's kind of annoying. Alright, where in the F3 screen can I change that? Local difficulty, maybe? Try local difficulty. Yeah, alright, it's in local difficulty. Sure, well, we'll have to leave it there then. Go ahead and sleep real quick. Right. And let's see here. We need to be able to grow some pumpkins nearby. Probably renovate this into more of a melon and pumpkin patch as well. I have a feeling this is going to be our best bet to put everything down in, so more likely than not. I think that's what we'll do. There we go. That was fast. Perfect. One of these into more seeds. I'm gonna definitely get used to adding in the relative sections. Alright, so it's somewhere only on the F3 screen, so I wonder what that's going to be then. Probably looking at block. Yeah, I wanted to hide that for a reason, so that's fine. There's section position. That'll give me my chunk cords, which is perfect, so I also want those too. Alright, not quite where I wanted those to grow, but that's okay. I forgot all of the dye textures changed too, so we'll have to take some time to get used to that, because that looks really weird to me mentally. Alright. that gets us our pumpkin section done. Then we can come down, and then we'll have our melons. We start growing those out. But we need to worry about those for now. And let's see here. Tuck those away. There we go. And then we can otherwise toss like everything else away. That should be fine. 2 snow golems, that should be plenty. I only really need to make 1 for its snowballs in 1 spot, and then that'll let me feed and grow the happy gas. I'm not too worried about that. We'll just throw all that crap away there for now. There we go. That goes there, that goes there. All right. Go. Alright, and we should have enough material now to break in and get a hold of a shulker. So we can go ahead and yank a shulker. Oh, and glass. We need more glass to do this first. I'm trying to think. 17 by 17 times 2 is 578. 578 divided by 64 is less than 10. So if we can get 10 stacks of glass, we should definitely have enough. So we're going to go ahead and pop on out to the trading hall real quick and go load up on a little bit of extra glass. We're doing on emeralds. Passable, but not too great. So we're definitely going to need to trade for some more. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get that handled. And then with that, after we get a hold of our obsidian, because we're going to need to remake our portals anyway. And what did I do with all my extra obsidian? I don't know, do I? Oh, great. But we had to have put it somewhere. That's the annoying thing. We definitely did do something with it, but I haven't got an idea where that is. And why do I feel like I dumped it somewhere and just completely forgot about it? Probably because that's exactly what happened. But where would I have dumped it at? Maybe I dumped it in one of the chests in the nether? We'll just take a flint and steel for now. We'll ask a couple more questions a little later. For now, let's just keep it simple, stupid, and go get that glass, and we can piece the rest of it together when we get the chance. Yeah, I started streaming on time again today, now that we got that new schedule, so I'm looking to do 7 to 10 between Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and hopefully that will allow me to actually stream a little bit more consistently. And then we'll stream Saturdays as well too, but that'll be a little bit earlier in the afternoon, early evening. That one's a little bit more sporadic, but I'd like to at least stream 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and actually be able to do some stuff from there. That was a bit of a lag spike. Nope, didn't leave it up here. It's just out there somewhere. Oh, you know where I did leave it? I have that chest, remember, I have that chest that's out there that I left by the end portal that might have it. So I should go check in on that. I'm so glad we built this still. There's a very good chance it's in here. Yeah. There it is. Alright. We got our obsidian, good. We can make an extra nether portal with that. That's only gonna come into play later, so we don't need to worry too much about that. And right now we need to get back to the trading hall and go trade some glass. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop on over. That leads back to 0, 0. And this will be our trading hall portal that we can go ahead and pop on over to. Perfect. now we can go ahead and head over to the actual trading hall section. Looks like an iron golem just died, so I'm glad that's still working properly as well. Very good to see. Let's take a quick peek at the iron levels in here. Doing alright, good. Alright. Oh, we'll leave that be. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and trade up to get a hold of some extra glass. We snatched literally everything out of here, unfortunately. Which, that's alright. Kind of what I expected, so... why I brought so much extra to be able to facilitate these trades. I forgot they changed the mouse cursor now, so it's so cursed actually having the finger pointing icon instead of just a cursor, now that they've changed it for certain menu items. Feels weird. Not bad weird, I guess, just different for me. We'll go ahead and trade up all this. I also got rid of spawn chunks completely too, which I get, I guess, from a performance perspective, but it is still super cursed because of how long they've been in the game for, that they're just gone completely. So, and the option to even have them is completely gone too. Seems a little unfortunate, but I mean, I get it. Luckily, now that we have Ender Pearl chunk loaders, honestly, it's not too bad. You know, it's a fair enough trade-off. We have a super easy way to chunk load stuff, and at least you get a little bit more finite control over what you chunk load versus what you don't. So, you know, we take those. But either way, we should have enough glass with this. Oh yeah, that'll be more than plenty. That's 10 stacks. So we'll have enough there. Cover that. I can come back with us. I know this is all like double layered and it seems kind of redundant, but it is good to have some kind of redundancy when we're doing villager stuff, because there's always some amount of bullshit that'll end up happening one day that I'd rather have them, if they do escape, only be stuck in a small area versus chasing them all throughout the world and getting really pissed off about it because they're annoying, they fucking suck, but, you know, I digress. But, anywho, let's go ahead and get back in our boat here, and I think we'll go ahead and... can't particularly move our nether portal, can we? Yeah, we can. Here, we're facing east. Hopefully our nether portal is east. If not, I think we can, you know, we can be off by like a few blocks, we'll be okay. I have a feeling it's not though, it's more north. No, it's east. We can work with that. Go ahead and yank this out of here. Also grab just a little bit of extra cobblestone that we got laying around. And we'll go ahead and fill in this room. And this will act as like a little halfway room between the fortress and whatever chicanery we do up on the roof and down below. So let's go ahead and finish getting all this moved over. There we go. That's moved. Alright. And again, we want to look east. Build our portal like right here. Gotta make blocks. Yep. There we go. Alright, perfect. That gets us covered there. I'll put the extra slab away there. Very good. I'll dump away the... I'll hold on to it for right now just to do a quick double check if our portals are ranked up properly, which they ought to be. And indeed they are. We'll go ahead and head back to base to sleep real quick. Why not? Just while we're here. Currently on day 232, about to go to 233. It's nice not having to hit the F3 screen and dig around for it. It's just up there now, so that's pretty cool. Certainly I'm a big fan of that. But let's go ahead and get in here. I'm glad too that the chords are a little bit more officially embraced outside of the F3 menu finally, because before they were kind of hush-hush about it to an extent in terms of the fact that they didn't really want people to not necessarily over-rely on chords, but since it was in a debug screen, they didn't really want people looking at it per se. So I'm glad that they finally like just said fuck it and they just made it a bit more official there. So it's pretty good. But we're gonna go ahead and go on out to the end. So let's go ahead and take our 0-0 route that we got. We'll go ahead and go on out here, and then I just realized I don't actually know what it takes to make a gas harness. I would have grown that happy gas and then just not had a harness for him. Wait a minute, what am I thinking? All right, I know it's pretty cheap. It's like leather and glass and iron and shit like that. So we're not dealing with anything too expensive here. But it is still just a little bit extra work we gotta go do real quick. We'll go get him a nice red harness. Gives us a chance to see some nitty deck textures too. Yeah, let's go ahead and get one of those. And let's see our leather. I think we took up all the glass, didn't we? Yep, we did. So we'll have to dip into our reserve here a little bit. Needs a wool block, don't it? Yeah, that's what it needed. Red dye, it pretty much looks like red dye. You couldn't guess. Red harness. Oops, there we go. Very nice and simple. Good thing I remembered that, because I really was about to forget completely. And you can't stack it, so that should be fine. Leave that in our inventory for now. We got the harness, snow blocks, that. I guess we'll just take a pair of shears just straight out of here, since we're here. You know. Go. Take one of those with us. Alright. Now with that, we should have everything officially. We got the harness, we got the actual gas, we got our water. Got enough for our snow golem. And enough to make a bunch of snowballs and snow blocks. We got our extra various resources there that we're going to need for multi-purpose. A bunch of cobblestone. We'll need a bunch of cobblestone, slabs, and walls. And then we have the glass for the inner floors. And that should cover us. So we will go ahead and pop on over and get this guy built. So the reason why I want a happy gas so much for the end specifically is it's poor man's elytra, right? So the easiest way to find elytras in the end is to fly with an elytra in the end. Now, since we can't fly with an elytra yet because we ain't got one, the happy gas is our next best thing, where we don't have to worry about pillaring. We can just pick a direction with him and go. And he'll take us out to an end ship pretty comfortably. We'll make a fence on site, but we'll make a fence post to be able to leash him up to, so that way he's got somewhere safe to kind of hang around at. And then outside of that, we just take him and we go. So nice and simple. Don't have to think too hard about it. And we go. Now last time as well, we made sure to lock everything off. Also, additionally, we're in the new update where we should have some end flashes kind of dotted around, so that'll be interesting to see. Kind of want light levels on too. But if I do, why does light levels force it to really go somewhere else? Really? Come on, guys. That certainly is a little annoying. It's very lame that light levels are like that, but I think the skylight is now 15 instead of 0, so that's kind of good. And then you can see how the hue shifts and we get some of the end flashes up in the sky. That's cool. But we're not here for that right now. We're here to get our ass through our end gateway and go hatch our happy gas. Also need to take some time after we're done to seal this off and do a little bit of work to actually make a proper staircase, since I don't want to risk falling off here or nothing. But it's 3 blocks wide. That's plenty of margin of error for now. Also make sure we got our handy dandy water bucket and ender pearls in case anything bad happens. Luckily nothing bad happened, but you can never be too safe, you know. Alright, we're going to go ahead and carve out just a little pool of water that we can go ahead and put down. And we're going to wait about, I think it's 20 minutes for this happy gas to get fully hydrated. And once he's fully hydrated, then we'll pretty much be good to go. Get him there. Crafting table there. Let's go ahead and take out our extra wood for now. Make another crafting table to put that back in. And let's go ahead and make some fences. Put a fence there. That'll give us a spot to leash them at when we're ready. And then we can go ahead and do a little bit with the snow golem as well. Okay, if we want his feet to be there, we want to be able to lock him in a way like so. Right, and our shears as well. Perfect, there we go. While we're waiting, we'll go ahead and do a little bit more prep work. Try and make this area relatively neat and safe. Also a little weird, I'm going to end up looking at an Enderman by accident. So let's take a few steps to try and mitigate that risk. Still in our iron armor here, so I haven't upgraded anything to diamond or netherite yet. Especially netherite, considering I don't, have any, so it's a little different. But otherwise, let's go ahead and seal all this off with endstone. Try and make it just a nice solid chunk of it. Just that way it looks a little bit even and clean. And again, we kind of need something to do while we're waiting for that happy gas to grow up. Maybe a little while. Right, we almost got it all flattened out. Let's go ahead and chip away a little bit more here. And I don't know if I plan on doing anything with the new update straight away. There's a good chance I just kind of let it exist and then I'll get to it when I get to it. Again, I don't really have a big need for copper golems at the moment, so I can afford to just kind of let it hang out and just, be there when I need it, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, it's just kind of how it is. And we'll go ahead and mine all that around. There we go. And this will let us get a hold of some snowballs, so we can go ahead and get him tamed when he's ready. And that'll cover us there. Alright. Go ahead and tuck away some extra stuff in the meantime. Let's double check. We look like we're doing pretty good here. That's nice. And then we still should have our leashes. So we'll go ahead and take those out. And then I think we're going to put our hose away, since we don't really need those too much right now. We'll keep our axes. We'll put the shovels away though, since there's nothing to shovel, except for snowballs. So we'll keep the fortune 1. And then axe-wise, we'll keep Silk Touch instead of Fortune, since there's no benefit right now otherwise. And that'll be good. That'll help us free up some additional inventory space, because we're definitely going to need it. And we'll go ahead and reorganize our inventory a little bit here. We have enough food to last us for a very long time, so I'm not too worried about that. He looks like he's still pretty dehydrated, so it'll be taking a while. There we go. Kill that guy and get him out of the way. Perfect. And we'll do this shape a little bit off the top here. There we go. That shouldn't melt anything either, I hope. And he's still doing his thing, so yeah, we'll let him do his thing. I can see dry to gas, hydration, 0, so yep, he's out there doing whatever. Leave that there. We got the fence gate for a little later, so that's good. Or fence gate, the fence. And I guess for now, we can just kind of talk plants here a little bit. So if we open up our book and quill, we're going to make first of all, we're going to make a pit stop at our shulker's coordinate that we have over yonder at 2280, 3232. The reason we're going there is because they have an end gateway that is super close by, and we want to take full advantage of that. So what we're going to be doing, basically, is we're going to go ahead and this is what I was kind of researching at work a bit today, too. When we get this happy gas grown up, put a saddle on him, he's ours, we can fly him. Not only does this help us with actually taking like, you know, the ability to fly is huge in and of itself, so I want that, obviously, but this is also going to let us, blinking on my words here, I'm getting distracted. So the happy gas, we can fly, which is good, gets our elytra, but we can also move shulkers around way, way easier. So we can put them in a boat, super easy, lease the boat to the happy gas, and then the happy gas can vertically transport it into the manual shulker farm that I'm about to build. And then we can set them up in the manual shulker farm by boat from there. So we can make a very quick and easy way to build something up in the sky, bring stuff up with a happy gas, deposit it in there, and then we can get our shulker fishing chamber all loaded and ready to go. And then once that's fully done, then we're pretty much good. So, you know, we'll be able to safely duplicate as many shulkers as we need. We can farm them from shells. And then I build additional side chambers that have backup shulkers in them. So that way we've got one main shulker we'll use, and then we have an extra shulker already because we left those two at the entrance intact. So then we can make sure that we have a spare in case anything goes wrong and we can't, you know, heal them properly, because we don't actually have like splash potions of healing right now since we didn't get any glistening melons or gunpowder, but you know, and bottles, but we'll worry about that another day since that's not particularly important. And then when we're ready, because that gateway is so close, we can physically just yank a shulker from up there and then make a bridge from our shulker farm all the way out to the end gateway, and we can have it accessible by boat. And then we should just be able to drive a boat straight through an end gateway, and then it'll take the shulker with us and it'll spawn us both back at the obsidian platform that we start at. And once that happens, we're pretty much set. It's hydration 1, so he's starting to get a little bit more hydrated. But yeah, we'll be able to safely and efficiently bring over shulkers from that city and the chamber that we build into the overworld. And then because we built that nether portal out there, we ought to be able to take him straight from the nether, or from the overworld into the nether, which is on the nether roof, take him out into our funny little place on the ice boat road, get him up on that, and then once he's up on the ice boat road, then all we really got to do from there is just drive him home. And then once he's home on our side of the portal, then we will deposit him with probably another happy cast that we'll have in the overworld at some point. We'll deposit him into the shulker shell, the manual shulker shell pod, because we'll build another one out in the overworld, and then we will build a separate one that's more automatic out there as well, but that's going to come a little later. So, but at least we will have the option to do that, and we don't need to do that for a while. I'm perfectly content kind of going back and forth to the end for a little while to kind of get all this going, so I don't have any issue with it for the time being, because once you get like a stack of shells, you can make like 32 boxes. That's a full ender chest worth with some extra. Then you're pretty much fine. You know, you can fill a whole ender chest with it. You got a couple extra for some basic projects and things like that, and then you don't really need more outside of automating stuff with auto crafters. And again, we're not at that stage yet because our base isn't built for that yet, because our base isn't fucking built at all. And we're still working on that, but we're not there yet, so still trying to kill some time here while we're waiting. We'll go ahead and cut down some chorus fruit, I guess. It's a good extra little bit of insurance to have too while we're waiting. And we got our snowballs. Guess we could get a couple more snowballs, wouldn't hurt to have. Since we are going to need to grow this guy up pretty fast here. How's he doing? Hydration level 1 still. So yeah, we're going to be waiting here for a little bit. That's alright. And just out of curiosity, if I go ahead and lure one over here, is this even safe? This is another thing. It looks like it's safe at least, that's good. So yeah, we do have a safe way at least to kill some enemies, get some other stuff done, so that's good. Hydration 2, he's getting closer. 3 is when he starts smiling and then he looks a lot better. That's good. Then you can see our routes that we've taken, and we'll take a quick peek at our coordinates again, so we can kind of map 22, 80, 32, 32. Wow, we went pretty far. So we're going to be going out to hit our hitboxes. We're going to be going out this direction, about 2,000 blocks in each direction, so, you know, 3,000 something blocks if we're going in a nice diagonal there. But again, we will be able to we won't have the bridge, so we're still only going, I think, at like a little slower than 4 blocks a second. So, you know, after 100 seconds, I think it's like 3.8. So after, you know, 100 seconds, you go 380 blocks, which is fine. You know, we can work with that. And then from there, after 1,000 seconds, which is over 10 minutes, by the way, bordering on 20, we'll go 3,800 blocks, which should get us there. So we should be able to make it within 20 minutes. So it'll be a pretty long flight, but it will be super worth it because, again, just being able to fly there means we don't have to bridge, because it would honestly take longer, like, bridging. Well, technically not, because we've already bridged over there, so we wouldn't have to re-bridge across a bridge we've already built. But I don't like crossing those. I only did those out of necessity, because you kind of have to, obviously. So it is not something I plan on doing long term, because it is very dangerous. So the less time we have to spend in the air or over the void, the better. These guys need to get the hell out of the way sometimes, because they are a little annoying. We might have a fortune pick, good. But how these shulker farms work, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, so within a 17 by 17 by 17 cuboid. Shulkers will attempt to teleport if they have hit themselves with their own shulker bullet while they are open and shooting. So the idea is we build a fission chamber, which is just basically a chamber of glass that's just tall enough to let the shulker open fully, and it basically will make eye contact with me, the player, try and shoot me, and then because of how the bullets interact with ion trapdoors, it'll think, hey, I actually can't hit this guy with my bullet, so the bullet will double back, and it will inevitably hit itself, because it has nowhere else to go other than back straight into itself. And then once that happens, it has a chance to split, and then once it splits, it'll choose a block within that 17 meter cube cuboid to try and teleport to that has a solid face. So we don't want it to teleport outside of this big box we're about to build, so we build all of the exterior walls with, well, walls, so cobblestone walls. Since they're a physical hitbox, it'll block the outside and the inside, but they're not a full block, so it won't teleport there. And then we use bottom slabs, or rather we use top slabs for the floor that create like a physical solid full block floor for us to stand on, but underneath it's only a half block, so they won't teleport. And of course it's not a full block on any of the sides, so it can't teleport there. And then same idea for the main roof, where we have a bottom slab roof that will have a ceiling that is a full block, but the actual roof itself on the outside isn't. So it can only teleport to the floor of the ceiling inside, and then we have 2 layers of glass as partition floors to increase the amount of spawning spaces it can go to. So it can either spawn at a very low level here, or it can spawn on the ceiling here or the floor here, and then floor there, ceiling up above, and you can kind of get the idea of how that's going to look. And we'll kind of build that out just a little bit while we're waiting, because I got nothing better to do. But yeah, it would basically look a little something, not like this specifically, because I did kind of fuck up my proportions here, but you get the idea of what it's going to look like here. You know what I'm talking about. There we go. But yeah, again, floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, floor, and then final ceiling, and then that will get us everything that we're looking for here to be able to build everything. And then somewhere in this area, we'll have to take a little chunk to force it. What's the word? We have to set aside a little bit for the fission chamber. So again, we actually have a spot that the shulker will specifically sit on that we then build everything around. Just that way we've got a good idea of what we're expecting here, which will be nice. And he's smiling, so he is getting pretty close to growing up here. So we need to keep an eye out for him. But yeah, it's a very simple build. It's just a lot of building is all it is. I still fucking didn't bring any switches. I really need to go do that at some point. I'll have to probably upgrade my pants just so I at least have the pants with switch sneak on them, and then I can bring my chest plate over. Yeah, that's what I'll do, because we'll save the helmet and the boots for next time, but, well, maybe later today. But I know the chest plate and the leggings I can put together out of diamonds super fast, because they're already all put together. So then I can at least get Swift Sneak, and then I can buff up my armor a little bit, so that'll help. And then otherwise, we're pretty much good, so... I think one of them fell over there, dumbass. And I guess we'll go ahead and we'll have a spot the shackle up here, just so he's out of the way a little bit more. Here we go. Cool. And yeah, we're just waiting for him to grow up here. We need 10 snowballs, or 1 snowball accelerates his growth by 10%, so if we give him 10 snowballs, he should grow like pretty much instantly into an adult. Not instantly, but it'll be way quicker, so we'll feed him 2.5 stacks of snowballs here, and that should get him pretty much instantly, so we ain't gotta worry about him. Make sure we get our lead out too, since we'll need to leash into our fence post to do some better work with him. Hard to believe it, but it's actually already been 50 minutes. So, yeah, I know it's been a lot of waiting around, unfortunately. But we have just got to wait for this guy, and then we can finally get started with everything. So, yeah, it'll all be worth it, though, once we're there. And we're also hitting that point, too, in the hardcore world where we realistically don't have big risk anymore. There's not really a risk of dying even without a shield because Prot 4 armor, especially once it's diamond and inevitably netherite, is just too damn good. You know, it's just, we could tank so much with it, and, you know, as long as we're not like a complete moron, we have good food, we have a chance of golden apples, you know, we can have all these other backups, and dying's a very low risk thing to do. Granted, I said that before on the other one, and then promptly went through another portal that killed me, but that's on me for being stupid. So I won't build that farm again because, you know, whoops. But yeah, we will actually get to start focusing on our base, and we don't really need to worry about dying anymore because we basically can't die. So it's going to get a little tricky to, I guess, focus more on the survival aspect since there's not really as much surviving that needs to be done anymore. So that's kind of the annoying part, unfortunately. That's a really tough thing to balance now that we're in endgame here. But at least we'll have a lot of building, and we will have a lot of stuff to do and a lot of work cut out for us. So it'll be worth it. And yeah, my hands are off my mouse there, by the way. So I'll go ahead and leash him up. And we'll go ahead and feed this fat ass. Look at him go. Perfect. Here we go. We'll go ahead and leash him. We got our harness ready. And we're pretty much just waiting around for him to grow up. And then we can start our journey out. So yeah. Guess we can go ahead and take a couple more snowballs while we got nothing better to do. Never mind, he's already an adult. We'll keep some on us somewhere, just so that way he can be safe. Okay, that being said, we've now got our guy. I wish he would get over here a little bit more. Right way to look straight down, we pick that up. Alright, and then we are officially on a happy ghast. So we got our spyglass. Let's also go ahead and be a little smart about this. We got our ender pearl, water bucket. Don't need our leads. Let's get our book and quill, but we don't need torches either since we're up in the sky. Alright, and we're going to 2280, 3232. So positive X, positive Z, and away we go. This is going to be a little sketchy, bringing them over open void. So I guess, you know, baby steps first for something like this. Let's just get a bunch of height at least, so that way, if we do, God forbid, fall, we've at least got a way out of here. Or at least we have more time to make a decision and throw an ender pearl and get some stuff done. Which also reminds me, I want some extra building blocks as well. And yeah, we're basically just gonna fly out here for however long this is gonna take us. It is gonna take a while. And the cool thing too about having this this F3 screen kind of be a little modified is we can see the angles we're looking at now. So there's also an angle you can hit where holding spacebar and W should even out the momentum, so we get a better viewing angle to see what we're looking at. It looks like it's about 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees is at least a net positive, so yeah. So basically, if you look 30 degrees downwards and you hold W and you hold spacebar, you very slowly gain height, but not enough in a way that like really matters at all. So from here, we should just be able to hold W and spacebar and just fly way on out there. and we'll basically get to it when we get to it. Also makes me a little worried that I'm going to look at an Enderman somehow, and then I guess it shouldn't really be able to teleport up here with me, but we will inevitably find out, I'm sure. So, just out of curiosity, why don't we go ahead and let's get over solid ground here and see if we can look at one. Oh, what? For real? Oh, they don't care. That guy does. Go ahead and look back at 30. I don't see that one chasing me anymore. So maybe we're okay. I don't think that teleport to us at least. That's nice. All right. Now, hopefully, too, we'll come across an end ship along the way. So we'll also try and I guess we really need to focus on where we're going first because, we can always tread new ground over there. And I really would rather get the shulker farm done first than have an elytra. So we'll focus one thing at a time here. Shulker farm first. When we have extra time, we will go look for an elytra. But we'll have to fly this guy back anyways to the gateway since I kind of... No, we won't fly him back to the gateway. We'll park him at the shulker farm because he's more useful there because we'll have a different gateway for him there. So that's a little different. And if I always need to, I can always, go get another one and, make a second one and bring it over here and hatch it, but I don't think we'll need to go that far. You can barter with piglins for him, or you can just straight up craft him with a block of soul sand and 8 ghast tears, which it's the ghast tears that are a bit annoying. So we'd have to build a ghast farm, which honestly we'll probably do since it's a nether farm. And because it's a nether farm, I actually don't have to care too much about where it is or anything like that. I just have to build it, sit at it for a while. I get some gunpowder out of it, which is huge, and then I also get all of the tears themselves, obviously, so that'll be good. That gunpowder especially will be very nice for kind of fueling some of these like early end game rocket binges that we're gonna inevitably have. So that'll be good to have. I feel like I see a building out there, but it could just be chorus fruit again. It's chorus fruit. I thought that was an end city, but it was not. I've already gone 500 blocks in just this short amount of time we've been talking, so not too bad. Remember, we've got about 4,000 to go, so still not exactly fast, but unfortunately it doesn't get any faster than this, which does stink, but take what you can get, right? I've got an end gateway out to our left over there, so if we're lucky, there could be a city over here, because that doesn't even... Yeah, because it's not our only option. We do have the ability to just find another city also close to a gateway, and then we can do it there. And if it's closer, that's even better. So there's no harm in at least just kind of being out here and looking around. So that too. And now that we're this high up as well, we can actually see around us for quite a good bit. So if we do see any cities, they should stick out. Yeah, sore thumb. Yep, there it is. But yeah, like usual, Happy Gas being the GOAT, literally just carrying me straight across the void, and I don't have to think too hard about it, which is very good. And there's no risk to me if like my keyboard decides it doesn't want to work, because then I just stop moving forward for a little bit. And again, it is slow, but honestly, it doesn't necessarily need to be fast for something like this, so I don't mind it. It's a fair trade-off, right? You want fine control, the platform you can stand on with the gas, but for the actual Elytra, that's where you get your speed and like bigger maneuverability for just getting across bigger distances, so it's a fair deal. Anywho, we got our gateway down there, and I am still not seeing any damn cities at all. They just don't care to spawn. So yeah, we are in a pretty bad dead zone apparently, if this is still consistently an issue. Where even after going over all these new chunks here, we still can't find any cities, then that's pretty lame. Find one at some point, I'm sure, but it seems like that'll be happening for a little while. Hard to believe it's already Wednesday this week, too. Tomorrow it's Thursday, and then we got Friday, and then we're doing pretty good. Finally getting paid on Friday, so I can get my car payment paid off because I'm actually behind on that. It was due yesterday, but fortunately my mom didn't have enough cash in her money market account, so I can't actually pay it. Okay, she still owes me to pay off her credit card, so or to pay off her credit card debt to me. So I take cash out of her account to even it out, and then she didn't have enough to pay that, so that's a bit of a shame. So I'll have to pay like a late fee, but a late fee one time ain't gonna kill anyone, you know, it's just not making a habit out of it. But once I get that paid off, I can go pay off the rest of my rent. And then with me paying off my rent and my electric, so that'll be about $2,000 altogether because it's a deposit, first month's rent, and electric. So 900, 900, and then 200 something for the electric, I'm sure. After all that's done, then I will be able to. I'll have spent enough money through my credit card that I just got that I'll get $750 reimbursed in points. And with those points, they will pay off $750 off of my credit card bill, which is good. So that lets me buy, like, I think I have to use cash to get a Visa gift card, so that's a little different because I have to get something for somebody, and then I can use it to buy a 1 terabyte micro SD card for the Switch 2. That's like $200 for a 1 terabyte micro SD Express, which is pretty expensive, but I only have to buy it once and I'm good. And then I'll probably pick up Bonanza at that point too, because fuck it. And then I think I'm out of things to spend my money on after that point. So I've already got Legends EA, the DLC, got Mario Kart World, I've got every Switch game I could imagine, and then we just had a Steam sale and I bought a couple other games through there too, but you know, again, I bought everything I was really looking to buy, so I don't really have anything left to spend money on. Even if I do, it's on sale, so it hardly matters. And then otherwise, we don't have a lot to burn, which is good. So I can get all my purchases, all my wants, and my rewards to myself for finally getting another paycheck here. I can get all that covered this Saturday. And then going forward, on my next paycheck in another couple weeks, I can pay off the rest of my monthly bills that I owe, and then I'll have a grand left over from that that can go ahead and be set aside to start paying off my credit card debt again. And then I'll get another 2 grand on Halloween that will pay off more of my credit card debt, and then that will set me up for the rest of everything. So I think I don't have to really worry about being on probation either. They seem to be like super duper happy with the work I'm doing with Excel. You know, Flex what I did to them because they wanted help with an invoice on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, and I did well enough that they're like, we just want to use this, and you know, we can adapt it to other reports and all that. But my shit was the bomb apparently, so now they're having me work on other Excel projects with other people already, which is really good. So I'm glad I got a chance to show that off and kind of start building that niche in my job because I love Excel. Bit of a nerd for Excel for some reason. I don't fucking know why, but it clicks super duper well with me for like no reason at all. You know, writing the formulas actually makes the most sense out of any. It's not really a programming language per se, but it's close enough to one that it might as well be. But makes the most sense out of any programming language I've tackled because I think there's a bit more of a visual aspect to it. And then it's helped me actually abstract a bunch of larger problems into smaller bits that I can work with. And then it is something that basically everyone uses everywhere all the time. So I'm always going to have some really good use out of it with what I can do. The only parts I haven't really done anything with it yet are VBA, like you're just learning VBA and macros. Otherwise, I've done Power Query, I've done Power Pivot, I've done your pivot charts, pivot tables, pretty much every single formula under the sun. I read the fucking Microsoft change logs when I get bored of reading FEMA stuff, and I can just read something else. So it's a whole bunch of new formulas that they come out with every couple months that I try to stay up to date on because they're very cool as well. But again, it is all just stuff I'm into, and it clicks very well, and I'm very happy with it. Also, let's take a quick little check to see how we're doing. 2280, 3232. Alright, so we are within about 2,000 blocks. We can start forcing ourselves to go into the Z direction a little bit more here, since we ought to be closing in on this. Also seems like we have, you can tell by that little bit of light we got, another gateway. Yep. So it's another cool thing too. This light does tend to stick out like a sore thumb. And I'm just curious, if I hit F3 and 1, and then we go to tick, the lock entities, you can see we've got our gateway there. And again, like we did last time, we are looking for our looking for the chunk entities that are out there, supposedly. So every once in a while we'll hit F3 to refresh on that and see what we can do. But we're doing pretty good, so I ain't too worried about it. There's nothing else to do but to just keep moving along. Hopefully we'll come across something at some point. It's honestly kind of amazing that we seriously have not found another end city at all while traveling it. You're telling me we haven't found one? Really? Come on. Yeah, no, work going good. Getting paid enough finally. My mom's getting her real estate stuff off the ground finally after all this time, which means I can start working on mine again too. Um, we should be able to start getting some extra money so she can pay me back what she owes me. I got a student loan I gotta pay off too, so that extra 2 grand I'm getting this month will probably be used to pay that off so I can wipe that clean and not have to worry about it. And then I'll save the other grand and pay off credit card debt. I'll save that in cash because I want to make sure I have enough of a buffer for some of my cash only bills too. And then everything else after that pays off my credit card, and then my credit card pays my bills from there. So, yeah. Because I also want the rewards points on the credit card, which is why I pay everything through it. So, I'll have to double check if there's a credit card processing fee or not. I want to say that there is, but depending on the amount of points I get from it, it may be worth actually taking the processing fee, believe it or not, because since I'm in an RV park, it technically counts as travel, so I get double points on it. And since I get double points on it, I get 2% back on each time I pay my rent. And I think the fee is 1.5% normally. So it'll at least even out, if nothing else, if the fee is 2% secretly, which still shows that I'm using my credit card and building credits, so it is still like a net positive for me as far as I'm concerned. As kind of weird as that sounds. It's important to have good credit utilization and, showing that you repeatedly can pay your monthly bills, through your credit card, and then you pay them back with cash at the right time every month and all that kind of stuff. And that goes a long way to get some other shit done. So I gotta roll with that for a little bit. And then I'm planning on getting my car refinanced, I think in November, to go off of a much better interest rate. And it'll be $200 a month more expensive, which is why I'm waiting a bit to make sure I build up a little bit more savings. But it'll be $200 a month more, but I'll be able to pay it off in 3 years instead of the remaining. I think it'll be 5 years left in November. So, I work a little harder to earn a little bit more money to pay this off a little bit quicker, but I think I end up saving like $14,000 or something. So I sat down and did some napkin math, and like I end up saving a pretty good chunk of money just by refinancing to that. So I may as well go for it, you know. But you can see our bridges that we're getting to here. So we're coming up on terrain that we've already been to personally. And still no chests in sight at all. So again, just a massive dead zone of anything ever, which is a real shame. But we'll get there when we get there. That's alright. There will be an elytra out there somewhere, but I don't need to find it straight away for now. Ah, and then there's that island I had to make that weird turn on, so we should be getting fairly close. I think we're within about 800 blocks of distance. As it should be like straight ahead here, basically, is where it was. So we can keep going our way out here. And yeah. Yeah, it's good to take some time to plan some things out, just kind of be rational and just talk to, you know, just talk it out in terms of what you're trying to do in life, you know. Bills can be kind of scary when you're starting out with it, but if you literally just take a little bit to talk it out and make the most basic of plans, which is just how much money you're bringing in after tax versus how much money you're expected to put out after tax, then you make a budget, you be honest with yourself, you make a budget based around your fixed expenses first, so things that'll stay the same rate constantly that you have to pay. And you have to pay it, otherwise you get into a lot of trouble versus a little bit of trouble. So your rent, car payment, car insurance, um, you know, things like that. Electric's a little bit more variable and you can be a little bit looser with that, so it's a little different. But you pay off your super big, super important bills for like your car and your house first. And then, you know, you pay off like your phone, internet, and electric bills. Those are good. And then you make a budget for your grocery and gas. So how far do you have to drive for work? How many gallons of gas do you need on average for that? And then kind of keep going from there. And you just keep, you know, asking enough problems and you keep whittling it down and going through all your expenses until eventually you get down to what you realistically are going to spend max every month versus what you're definitely going to bring in. So you're planning for worst case spending where I'm probably not going to spend 200 bucks a month on electricity now that summer's over, but that's what I budget for. And then I'm not going to probably spend 100 bucks a week on groceries and gas since I have to use a lot less gas now to get to where I need to go. And then I'm pretty light on groceries, so they're not too bad since I can buy them in bulk now. But I still budget for that. And then I have a miscellaneous budget that's baked into my budget of $300, so that way I can spend that on whenever I want. So if I want to splurge a little bit more at the grocery store, go to a restaurant for 20 bucks, or buy a game or whatever, that's baked into my budget before it even touches my savings that I'm supposed to be keeping for the month. And any left over there can go into my savings for the month, and it all works out pretty well. So, yeah, some cool stuff. That being said, I think there was that gateway near here, but either way, we don't need to worry about that right now because we are coming up on the end city that we wanted from before. So what we're going to do is we're going to park up on the roof, and let's go ahead grab those. We're going to go ahead and park this guy up on the roof so that way we can actually do our work in peace. We can dodge all the shulkers because we've cleared out every other shulker except for the two that are down there at the base, so we want to make sure that we're careful and that things are locked off properly. So we'll have to make sure that we physically block off one of the shulkers and then only have another one ready to be yanked at some point. Yeah, let's go ahead and get on up here and go chain this guy down to a corner. And I'm still not seeing that gateway anywhere nearby too. Nor am I seeing any other cities out in the distance either, so that is a bit of a shame on its own, but, you know, that's fine. Like, we do have some Endermen that have spawned up here, unfortunately, which I don't particularly like, but hey, they despawned at least, that makes things a little bit easier. Coming in for a landing here, and we should be able to get to work. So we're gonna want to make sure that go ahead and set this guy down right here. There we go. Right, perfect. And first things first, we need to just go ahead and build our pillar going up. So let's go ahead and also tuck away some of our extra bits and bobs that we got. There we go. And this is where we go ahead and figure out what we want first. Okay. So a couple of things. We're going to go ahead and get some wooden slabs. So now we'll go ahead and make and stone brick slabs so that way it'll contrast better with everything else. That'll be good. All right. Go ahead and build 20 blocks up. There we go. All right, and then up here at 20 blocks, go ahead and turn the rest of these into slabs. Put that back with us. All right, so we got all of that going. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that means our 9 will be our center. Let's go ahead and get these out. And checking our chords, you can see we are on a full part. So that means the top part is a full block and the bottom isn't. So that's good. And then from here, we want to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. And we're going to go ahead and build our ring going all the way around because this is where our walls are going to sit on. So we need to make sure that we actually build out a little bit extra. There we go. Do 1 more. Also currently on day 235, so quite a bit of time has passed here. There we go. And then we just need to fill in all of the extra spaces here. Including this part too, of course. There we go. Keep doing that by accident. It's a little annoying, but nothing we can't fix, so that's alright. Let's go ahead and sure we keep all that going. Good. We left our cobblestone down there, so we'll have to fly down and pick up some extra here. We'll have to make sure we grab that shulker box and bring it back up. No, that was my actual box with all my materials, so yeah, I do actually have to go get that. I thought it was just my cobblestone box. And it wasn't, but that's okay. Alright. That got us most of the way across. Go ahead and make a couple more slabs. They need the same amount for the roof, so hardly matters anyways. There we go. Go ahead and start putting down some walls. There we go. That'll get us a little something to start with here, and then take out a couple of extra slabs, and let's go ahead and make some extra fence gates. Here we go. We want 2 gates instead of doors, because again, doors are full facing blocks technically, so we can't quite do anything with those. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put these here. Get out our slabs. We're gonna make a small little landing bay. So this is gonna not only get us a spot to have a little water stream come on through, this is also going to act as a dock for our happy guest. So that way he gets a little bit of extra space to work with as well. I'm gonna hollow it out like this. There we go. There we go. Let's go back in and get some more stuff. There we go. There we go. And we'll put that in the corner there, so that way we can go ahead and dock them. Also gonna want a little spot out here to the side that'll have an infinite water source for us to dip into. There we go. Go ahead and get our slabs out. Get our water. put all that there. All right, cool. Here we go. Do a little something like that. You can yank that back. And all we need to do now is go ahead and carve out this pillar all together. Perfect. There we go. And we'll go ahead and fly on up to the top of this guy. He'll come with me. A little bit higher. There we go. Hit F3 and B. And park him there. There we go. We can get past him luckily, so that'll be fine. And then he can fly around a little bit, but that lead will keep him well contained. And now we are officially back up here where we need to be. Who the hell is texting me right now? Not cool. 8:30. All right. Let's go ahead and get all this going. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and get a couple of solid blocks going there. So that way we have a little staircase going up. Alright, and then this is where we start our glass layer. And we'll just build a strip of glass, go put down the walls, build another strip of glass, and we'll get it all filled in. Here we go. has to be 2 blocks tall, by the way, because otherwise Enderman can spawn and teleport in here, and we really can't afford to have that for the shulkers. So it will cause issues and just generally be a pain in the ass, so... And plus, this is a more compact way to get spawning spaces, so worth doing anyways. Right, we are almost done with the first glass layer. It's very good. Also need to get these back out. There we go. Thought about that first. My bad. I'll leave those there for now. Alright, cool. So, what we need now is more walls. Away some of that endstone. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting all this built up too. No, I'm pretty quiet, but not really too much to say here, unfortunately. It is just a lot of building, and at least we're halfway done. Still need to make sure that we build a little fishing chamber, though, since we haven't actually built that yet, but we're going to fill in all of the glass area first before we get that. There we go. all the glass we have left. So we actually might not even have enough to finish this because I might have undershot it just a smidge. Maybe we'll have just the right amount. Run. Less than 2 stacks now, so. Stack and a half. Oh yeah, now we'll have enough. Perfect. Yeah, we'll have more than enough. Great. Alright, cool. So, a couple of things. Fission chamber time goes there. We need to make a quick little pit stop and grab this. Because this is where we're going to have the redstone bits that we need. So, that goes there, that there, that goes there, that goes there. There we go. One, two, three, four. Let's take a quick peek at our main hardcore world because I should have the overworld, the fission chamber built out, and I don't use like light Matica or anything, so I want to grab it off the example I already have access to. I just want to double check the actual distance that we're supposed to be working with here. Wow, my game gets a little laggy around here nowadays, huh? Alright, so, alright, we needed these sticky pistons, so it's a good thing we came back. Alright, so shulker is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 for the trapdoor. So 4 glass blocks, and then a 5th one that actually has the trapdoor lever and redstone. Okay. Oh, let's go back to Bingus World. You know, we had PP and we had Bingus, so real winners we got going on here. Those. That. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That block needs to be a bit more solid, which is why I'm using some instant bricks. There we go. Still flows through properly, that's good. Ooh, there we go. Alright, and then somewhere down here would be just a little spot to make line of sight contact with it. There we go. Perfect, so we can make line of sight contact with the shulker. He says, hey, I think I can shoot you. He shoots his bullet. Bullet sees the trapdoor and says, no the hell you can't. And it goes back and it shoots him instead. And it is sealed off properly as well, so he'll only fit there. And then getting him into place should be pretty simple. It's just a matter of physically breaking out these corner 3 and putting it in, driving in a boat. So that should be fine. And that means we can go ahead and take some stuff back with us. And we can go ahead and finish up the rest of everything. Let's go ahead and start getting all that prepped up then. Got our food. And we will need to make sure we get a hold of our slabs as well. There we go. And all we have to do is seal the roof off with half slabs. And actually, they're just regular snags that also have to be according to NASC. And we need to seal the roof off with half slabs, and then we will officially be good here for the main structure. We will, however, need a spot to contain spares, because again, we risk these shulkers dying and some other issues happening. So once we're done, we're not actually fully done per se. But we still have work that needs to be done. That's all right. It'll be pretty easy to do. How long has it been? Almost 2 hours, so done quite a lot here just getting this built. I won an elytra today though, so I think that's my main goal, is getting all this built and then getting a shulker in and getting this started. Then we'll get an elytra, and then if we have extra time, we'll go try and get our armor fixed up, I guess, a little bit, just to see. Alright, cool, that's all sealed off, that's good. I'm gonna take down our temporary staircases that we had built, and we're gonna fashion them into something a little bit more permanent here with our other little staircase that we got. There we go. So now we've got an easy way up and down. And funny enough, we've actually almost got like a staircase baked into the wall because of how it's designed. So it's pretty neat. Yeah, with this we can get up and down all of the different floors pretty well. We've got very clear line of sight on where all the shulkers get to go. And then now we get to make sure we got enough stuff. We do. Get some extra walls going, and then from our center block here, go out a little bit. He's right in the way though, for now, which is a little annoying. And we're at slabs, let's go ahead and get a couple more. Oop, there we go, nice and easy. Okie doke, there we go. I have a little connection point here too. This is also going to double as a bit of a different way out, so that way we can move stuff out to a gateway at some point. But this basically acts as a hallway that we can go ahead and take a couple blocks out of here. There we go. Take a couple blocks out. And then we can go ahead and start building our partitions here. Just to make sure that we get enough extra space to work with. Bring this back, I guess, by one. Just to have it line up to be a little bit prettier. I definitely looked at one. That's why I came back in here to make sure I don't die. Luckily you can't physically get me in here, so that ain't gonna matter. Perfect. Alright. Make some more walls. this will get us enough holding cells to just drop them off into, so that'll be good. We can even have enough wood for gates, I guess. Not particularly. I didn't measure that out correctly. Shit. That's annoying. Oh, looks like we did not want to condense that after all. Whoops. That's alright. It won't particularly mess up anything we're doing. At least it's easy enough to fix, I should say. There we go. So that'll go ahead and give us 4 holding cells to work with, which is great. Shouldn't really need more than that. And it also physically keeps it out of the radius of this shulker box too, so it won't interfere with the shulker in the fission chamber. Because they lose a chance to create a duplicate shulker if there are too many in the area, so we'd rather make sure that all these guys are cleared up as best as possible. But with that being said, 16 half. There we go. Gate. We have enough wood to cover us for a tiny amount of stuff, but this is really all we need it for, so it should be fine. Whoops. My depth perception seems to be a little bad. There we go. And yeah, we just go in, we drop them off with the boat, and then they get stuck in there. We have a hole to bring them through. We have an exit hole to bring them out of as well. So, let's see here. Let's get our book out. We're looking for 2079, 3150. So it's somewhere out that way and out that way. So technically I built it on the wrong side, but it hardly matters, and you can actually see it out in the distance from here. So yeah, we would basically drive the shulker after we build a cobblestone path that kind of goes around the back side. So it would probably come out through here. So we'll kind of siphon that out. We would build a path that would go all the way around, and it would get us to a point where we can just bring it gently down onto there, drive the shulker on through, and then he will be in the overworld, or not the overworld, he'll be on the part of the end where I can then take him to the overworld. So that should be fine. Alright, and then from here, we still have some work we need to do. So we're going to fill this in temporarily, and we're going to go ahead and prep the work site to get our shulker in place and get this thing going. So yeah, we're going to carve all that out, and then we're going to go up to the tippy top here. Alright, and then what we want to make sure we have are our leads, our boat, which we have, and then we want shears, because we'll need to shear it off of them, I believe. So yeah, we can go ahead and go grab our happy gas. He's floating around. He's annoying like usual. He's actually below me, which is kind of a bit of an issue. Well, while we wait for him to get his act together, I guess we can seal this off and have this act as storage or something. since this is just a little bit of negative space, we can go ahead and fill in. There we go. And I think what we'll do too is we'll move this guy's fence post over as well. She would just move a little bit closer. Alright, dude, come on. Alright, this should get his attention a little bit. Alright, we got him over here. That's good. And let's go ahead and get our boat out. We got our ender pearls, our snowballs, and our shears. Alright, let's see if... Oh shit, I keep doing that. I definitely pissed one of them off. Well, maybe if you guys weren't fucking annoying and in the way all the time, I wouldn't look at you, but here we are. From either. Right, yeah, I should have thought about that. Don't be annoying, man. Alright, let's go ahead and think here for a little bit. They definitely did just duplicate a couple of extra, so where did they go? Indoors, it looks like. Damn it. Couple of things. That gets blocked off. This gets a boat down. I looked at one by accident. Urgh. Oh, he fucking broke the boat. No. Got an enderman. We're gonna have to fight. Alright, we're still doing okay. We're about to walk directly into my line of sight. Fuck off, guys. It's just not funny after a certain point, you know? Where's my damn happy gas? Come on, dude. Get over here. Just get in the damn boat. Why? Fine, whatever. Water bucket. Dude, get over here. Dude, get down from there. Come on. Come here, man. Ah, cut behind. Alright, look. Alright, he's definitely roped him. Holy shit, he's about to die. Uh-oh. Well, they regen, but I don't necessarily know if he'll even have enough HP to tank all this because there's so much crap happening. I didn't cover it off properly, so it's another thing too. No! Ah! Brother, you have got to be kidding me. No! That's my only one, too. Oh my god, I fucking hate these guys. Ah! It couldn't be easy. Alright, well, that's really lame. Alright. I can still work with this, but this is just annoying now. Fuck off! Knock it off, fat boy. Alright. Oh, man. Well, okay, well, we can work with it. We at least got him in place, and... Oh, that means I have to walk all the way fucking back now. God damn it. Man. I couldn't get him in out of harm's way quick enough, so I guess we'll have to get another Happy Ghast at some point and bring him over here. That's lame, dude. Why did I block that off as well? What am I thinking? Alright, well, hey, let's be appreciative of what we got, right? We got him on through. We can start bringing in spares, at least. Bastards. These fuckers weren't helping me either, too, so... we'll get rid of them. And this might end up taking most of the day too, unfortunately, so just gonna have to live with it, I guess. Alright, we're out of slabs again. On me, I guess, for putting them in a more high-risk environment, but I don't exactly get much of a choice with it, fortunately, so either you get them in here or you don't. I guess we don't got them in here no more. Well, things happen, that's alright. You can always get another one. I think I didn't name him, and I got his harness back, right? Yep, I did. That at least. There we go, do a little something like that. So, we ought to be able, next time we get one, if it's a 4x4, we can park him in here, And then we have a little bit of extra space we can work with as a buffer. And then if any Endermen are here, it's not a particularly big deal. Okay. Yeah, alright, I think we got it. Let's go ahead and get all this cleared out here. Get all of this moved out around here. We don't have enough for a chest anymore, but that's not a particularly big deal at the moment, so I'm not too worried about it. Go ahead and just throw everything away into a shulker box for right now. Try and keep all of our cobblestone together in one box, though. Not cobblestone walls, just the actual whole box. Right, cool. Got all that done. Perfect. Alright. There we go. Something like that. We don't really need to have any lighting in here since it's bright enough, so should be fine. Go ahead and give this a test. We'll try and shoot. They'll say, hey, I can't shoot. And what we're going to do for these first couple that we get is these are backup shulkers. So these are explicitly not used for shulker shells. Instead, yeah, it was a little odd. And get my boat back. Thank you, game. Very cool. There we go. These are explicitly used as backups. This should be a new one with full HP, by the way. So they won't duplicate if they're closed when the bullet hits. So they have to remain open as the bullet hits them, otherwise it won't matter. Get him through here. Like I have to jump to get him comfortably out of it. That's alright. Alright, new guy, and see what you get. Nothing. Really, as long as it hits while it's open, we'll pretty much always get like a shulker to duplicate because we have so many spawning spaces. And that's by design. So we want to maximize it as much as possible because there is always a very slim chance that it hits itself so much that it not only doesn't teleport, it doesn't clone, and it dies. So that's why we bring these backups here and we leave backups in the city. So if that does happen, then we do have spares that are relatively easy to access and do a lot with them from there. So let's go ahead and get our last backup shulker. So we shulker number 4. Also means too, as we're transporting these guys out of the end and into the overworld, we have some that we can just yank. So we don't even have to wait here for them or nothing. We can just grab them and have them. So making eye contact with him makes him want to close a little bit more. Because see, sometimes this will happen where like it'll keep hitting itself, but then it'll like close. So again, this is only doing damage to it without providing a chance for it to duplicate, which is awesome and cool. There we go. Right, that was an invalid block for him to spawn on because I put the boat too close to him. Now, another thing too, and I just thought about this, we don't technically have a way to get a shulker up onto the appropriate floor, should we have to replace it with a backup shulker. It's kind of just, we got what we got. Fuck off. Let me get my damn boat, fat boy. I didn't mean to do that. I need to really take these out of my inventory before I fuck something up massively. Alright, anyways, we got 4 backup shulkers and a main way up and out. Say we need to get a guy up there. I think what we do is we get a little area where we can basically have like a little bubble vader or something, or we gotta have a way to get them up there. Oh, we can drag them with leads on a boat, can't we? Hang on a minute. I'd actually, yeah, that would work, wouldn't it? So check this out. Say we have a boat here. It's got a shulker in it, right? We go ahead and we take a lead, release the boat, we go up to our manual staircase that we got. Maybe not fall directly into the hole, but I wonder if that would be enough height to just get it up a little bit. Not quite, so we would need more height. But I have to go a little something like this if I'm not mistaken. But that would work. So that would physically get us a boat up onto the correct layer. And then from there we can pop down and break the boat. And, or not break the boat, but we can unleash it and then, you know, we're all good from there. This is doable. And nothing will spawn up here, so that'll be fine. Yeah, okay, cool. That works. Neat. So, we've got a fishing chamber that we can use to split our shulkers apart, which is good. We've got 4 backup shulkers. We've unfortunately lost our happy gas trying to move our initial one. But we'll work on getting another one here. That's pretty rare. Kinda surprised he didn't clone there. They're gonna be annoying, aren't they? Nope, they're not. Not too annoying. Well, what's gonna actually be annoying is the fact that I can't actually get a hold of any shells from these fuckers half the time. Also that, and see, he teleported down below. Getting 3 hits, and we can officially start farming shells off of them. Which is good. So we'll get like a, I guess we'll get like a stack of shells as I had mentioned. That'll probably take up the rest of our time here today, unfortunately. unfortunately, that Happy Ghast was really nice to have for even getting here without an Elytra. So until I get another Happy Ghast, we're probably just going to take the one-way trip home and then go to the Nether, go grind for it. And then we'll have to fly another one back here. Actually, no, we could hatch it here, I guess. That shouldn't really stop me. Yeah, I guess I could at least hatch it a lot closer to the ground down below on the city. So I'd have to walk the rest of the way. Oh, right, yeah, since we're not making eye contact. I'd have to walk the rest of the way by hand, or I guess by foot. But, you know, at least I would be able to hatch it here. I wouldn't have to spend so much time flying. But at the same time, it might be probably not quicker, but it is safer. So I guess I'll just hatch it there at the start like I did before. And then we will kind of go from there. And they can teleport away when I'm just wailing on them like that, but, you know, if they do, then we'll see it, so it's not too big a deal. Yeah, we got a funny little bit there. I think we're gonna get lucky enough for an Elytra here today, but we can try bridging for it at least. Just that way I can try and get a hold of one. Wait for these bullets to get in. I think we got 2 this time with a lucky shot. Here we go. And then once we get Wither Roses, we can make a very good Shulker Shell farm that'll let them teleport, and then they'll die to like the Wither effect instead of Minecart, so that'll help cut down on lag, and that gives us more spaces that they can teleport to where they'll just die. So that is something I will be working towards as I try to design my XP Slime Wither Rose farm that I've talked about in the past. So we'll have to work on that to get all of the Shulker farm going. So maybe we'll take a stream on Friday or Saturday to try and design that and then try and build it. Granted, I don't actually have a spot. No, I guess I do have a spot where I want to build it by extension because it's where my silverfish farm is. So, and since it's a farm I have to manually trigger, I don't necessarily mind it being outside of the area that I have planned for my base, but I guess I should probably try and keep everything together, so it might be a while. We might have to just focus on our base for a couple of streams, honestly, getting all the building blocks and at least building some amount of structure. So building the large cirque out of its deep slate and blackstone, and then our stone and andesite for our middle section, and then calcite for our top one, and just a lot of building and mining that we'll have to do, but it'll be worth it though. Might have to get a second beacon to bring with us into the Nether, so that way we can actually mine blackstone there instantly, since that'll be something that we'll really want to do. There we go. These guys seriously just do not want to be nice at all, do they? But yeah, there's a way to automate this with them getting angered by snow golems that throw snowballs, and then they'll constantly try and shoot them, and then it'll double back on itself like what we're doing here. And then any of the ones that teleport away can be funneled into a more specific area with scaffolding, I believe. And then we can have them killed from there. So basically you want them to duplicate and then get the hell out of Dodge as fast as possible. So technically the more efficient farms use nether portals to force them to teleport into a spot, and they immediately open to do something, and then that clips them into another portal, and then they teleport away, and then you kill them in the single killing chamber in the nether. But you need a lot of obsidian for that, and There is kind of a caveat to doing stuff like that, where you'll have so many shells you physically can't do everything with. And again, we're trying to limit multi-dimensional farms a bit. Also, this is a problem. So this is where we actually got lucky and another one teleported away. So we'll go ahead and kill this guy. Keep it quit fucking spawning bullets, damn. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get all that blocked off. This is something, again, that can happen. It's just pretty rare for it to happen, but that's alright. That's why we plan for these things. We go ahead and take our guy. Get our axe ready. Go ahead and park our boat in the corner. Get out. Jump to enter crawl mode. Break that. Start placing in our blocks like so, and then we're done. That's it. That's all it took. So yeah, very simple thing to do. We can leave these here, I guess, and then we can always like mine them away later if we need to. But see how that didn't take too long to fix it all, so that's good. And then we should be able to go ahead and refire this. Hopefully he can hit himself, and we want to make sure he can duplicate safely. Okay, he is starting to damage himself a lot though without actually doing anything. He keeps closing. There we go. That's what we want. This is the weakened one, by the way. You can tell because it has a levitation effect, but the other one doesn't. So the one that's there is a brand new one with full HP. So that's why it's kind of like a self-sustaining after a point too. Although sometimes we do get a little unlucky. That was technically him being close because he just started his closing animation, so yay! Woohoo! I wish this was like Bedrock Edition where looting gives you the chance to get multiple shells per kill instead of it being one with a higher chance of getting it, because even though you have a higher chance of getting one, you really don't, it feels like. Like I have looting 3, remember, and I'm still not really getting anything from these. I've got 17 so far. I've definitely killed a lot more than that, so it's a little annoying, a little tedious, but again, this is one of those things that we're only gonna have to do this one time, and then we can automate it in an actual farm afterwards, and then we literally only have to do this one time, and we're good. So you soldier through it for now, and then you don't have to do it ever again. I'll be worth it in the end. There we go. So lucky. That's alright. This one gave us 2. And neither of them gave us anything. Awesome. Fuck off. Quit it. You guys were already dead. Yeah, maybe that'll be enough for now. We can live with 20 for right now. I don't think they'll really get too much. That being said, though, I guess we get to make a decision. Do we want to go back home and try again with another happy cast to go out and find another place, or do we just keep it simple and go out in the direction we haven't gone before and just pray? I can do either. It's just, I gotta do something. So, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get some cobblestone that we have. And we're gonna go ahead and just bridge out a new direction. Not new direction, we're gonna go positive Z. We're gonna go way out over here. We still have our chords written down if and when we come back. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and continue throughout the world. And we still have this gateway that's nearby, so it's not like, you know, it's completely stupid or anything like that. It's just a little annoying. So, but yeah, we'll get out of here at some point. Hopefully with an Elytra. Again, I do have my other bundle here with my firework rocket, so as soon as we get one, we'll be able to travel to and from way quicker, so it'll be worth it if we get it. And that's a big if, unfortunately, because again, as you saw as we were flying through the Happy Gas, it has just been such an incredibly large dead zone that we have just had no luck with anything anywhere, which is a real shame. Oh, never mind. We got a city right out here, so hopefully this one has a ship. This is a proper one for once and not one of those tiny little spindly ones, so fingers crossed this one has a ship I can go to. Because if it does, then we can go in and snag that, and then we're home free. That would be ideal, but it's not looking like it, unfortunately. Just a little bit I can see. Even though it does branch up high enough, there is no in-ship in sight. Although there is a port, but the port would point to... There's not even a port. Yeah, there's no ship here. This is shipless. Damn, what a shame. Ender chest, so hey, at least there's spare ender chests in there. That's cool. There's no item frame. Damn it, man. What a shame. I guess we'll write this one down, and this is more of a I'll come back to this when I have an Elytra thing, because it legitimately, I just want Elytra. You know, there's not really loot in these things that I care about too much, so I care once I have an Elytra in my hands, and I can come back at my own leisure and not have to worry about it, because for right now, it's kind of just here doing whatever. Luckily, it's still on our way past everything, so we'll go ahead and write this down in the book. We got another end city to explore. Yeah, no ship at all. Some very bad luck we've had. It's our third one and it still hadn't got a ship. It's supposed to be a 50-50 from what I understand, so we have failed the 50-50. Large end city is at 2462. 2642, excuse me, 2642, 3862. Go. And we'll just leave it alone. We don't have any reason to kill him for right now. Not with the way things are, unfortunately. So we'll come back to this another time. Plus, it's also good to have an overabundance of shulkers, I guess, close by in case something happens. It's very unlikely that anything could happen, but it is still good to keep that in mind. Yep, no ship. Damn. That would have been a massively good find. Oh well. spyglass by accident, but sure, why not? Those are still loaded there, by the way, so... Those are gonna stay loaded for a while if I had to guess. At least we're making more distance faster because we don't have to use a happy gas for it, so I guess that's the silver linings, that we're not weighed down by it. But it is nice to be able to just hold space in W and just kind of go for it, so... let's keep it simple, just bridge this. We can do this. I guess there's nothing stopping me from just making these into slabs as well, but you know, I'm already using blocks, I might as well keep using them, right? We should definitely have enough blocks to just get us to an end city with an Elytra, unless we keep getting through, we keep experiencing these dry spells. If we keep having these dry spells, it ain't gonna matter how many blocks we have, we ain't gonna find one for 10,000 blocks. I mean, we're already over 5,000 blocks out, so we've already gone quite far, but fortunately, we are completely isolated here from any other end city, so that's cool. Because otherwise it is very difficult to find my way back. We do have an exit gateway, though, we can take advantage of if we need to, so that's cool. Yep, that's all good, just a little dip into in. I'll write this down. Whoops. And the gateway is at 2844 4658. Out we go. Oh man. Still nothing. Crap, that's a long way to build too. Alright, well, nothing to do but to sit down and do it, right? Let's go and make sure our hands are good. And let's get to building. We're day 239 as well, so we're getting on up there in days. We're almost at the 250 mark. That's pretty cool. Man, we still have a long way to go here. Kind of nice this is over 100 blocks away from each other, you know? A lot of space to try and bridge. We should be coming up on some solid land here fairly soon, I hope. I don't want to keep doing this forever. Yep, here we are. Make sure not to look at that guy down there. Oh, right. Ooh. And still nothing nearby because of course not. Damn. Let's travel best we can here. I do miss being able to see things up from really high, though. It does make it really easy to see if there's anything nearby or not, but nope, we're stuck on the ground because we let our happy gas get killed, unfortunately. I couldn't get him fully out of service to where I could safely heal him with snowballs, so that's not cool. Oh, another city. A very sad and pathetic one, by the sounds of it. But, and that's a bad sign too, because if there's not even any like entity data in it at all, then that means that there's no ship in it either. Because the ship has 2 chests in it and the item frame as well with the elytra in it. So it should have at least one of those. And then it ain't, you know, make good. Quick. Don't do that. Yeah, this one is so small, it has nothing worth noting in it. Oh, wait, chest, under chest. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I loaded a part of it that didn't have it, but... Fucking ship again. Dude, what is up with... Oh, that's a ship, though. Alright, that is much better. Finally, man. Okay, we still have our anvil. We got a crap ton of experience. We got our Unbreaking 3 and Mending book, so let's just break in and get the hell out of here. Tired of being in the end right now, so I kind of want to wrap up stream after we get this and pretty much call it there for today, since it's been almost a full 3 hours I scheduled, so trying to stick to a schedule here a little bit better now that my life's finally a little bit more in order, so... But we'll just pop on over real quick and go snag that end ship. Should be a fairly easy grab, hopefully. Glad we finally fucking found one. And now it doesn't show item frames down here as a block entity, but it does show a skull, which is going to be the dragon head. So that is a way to know that even if you can't physically see the ship itself, you know that it'll have a ship at the end city because it'll have the Ender Dragon head in it the whole time. So cool. Alright, we have a nice ship. It is over some very solid land. And with our water buckets too, we ought to be good. So we get to just build up in peace, relatively speaking. And we have some water to cushion our fall in case anything bad happens, but with our other protection and stuff that we have, we honestly should be fine either way, so I'm not going to sweat it too hard. I'm glad we finally found it so I can quit bitching about it. It took us 6,000, almost 7,000 blocks, by the way, to find one ship. So, definitely below average as far as I'm concerned, but these things do happen. Yay! Garbage. Not garbage. We do take those. Don't care. Alright. Let's go ahead and put some crap away. Oop. There we go. Let's keep some of our cobblestone for now, though. Put that away, put that away, put that away. Put that out, put that in there. That goes with me. Perfect. There we go. Alright, and then let's just take a second here to just catch our breath and organize our inventory a little bit nicer. There we go. Alright, much better. And let's go ahead and grab that dragon head while we're at it, too. Whee, down it goes. There it is. Alright, 36 firework rockets, good. Want to be a little careful here before takeoff since we are pretty naked here, since we're only on iron. And we want to head back to our good end gateway. And then we're going to write down Shulker Farm. 2079, 3150. Moving out this way. We'll come back for all the loot later another day. I don't feel like actually coming back here for, so it's fine. Yeah, what do you know? We got a end gateway right here. We can go ahead and take out of this. And we're out. That was easy. Also get rid of these head hitters while we're at it here. Alright, so we've officially done it. It took a long time to do, but after God knows how long, we finally got a hold of an Elytra. And we're back at our house, and we can sleep. And we're pretty much good. Nice. We can hit F3 and 1 to hide that. We'll hide that. And let's go ahead, take some time to sort everything away. Like so. Alright, and then we'll tuck all this away. Good. Do our redstone box here. Find all that stuff. There we go. We'll do that. And we need a little bit more logs. There we go. Make some more torches. That clears up my inventory a little bit there. Alright, animal products. I'll put them in here. There we go. This can be put away in here. got our valuables, of course. Go ahead, tuck away our excess. Put that away in there. And I guess we can just throw that down there. Cool. And then we'll put shulker shells here for now. Take all of our extra tools back. I'll go ahead and keep the cobblestone shulker because having a bunch of cobblestone is legitimately super useful as building blocks, so just basic scaffolding in general, so we'll go ahead and toss all that in there. That should be fine. Put that up at the top, organize that like so. And then that gets us a pretty stacked inventory of non-stackables and put away basically everything we can, but we still got some bare essentials in there. So that's good. And otherwise, that is going to do it for me today. We finally got a hold of everything we were looking for. It's currently day 240, and we're good. It's been about 3 hours. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye-bye.